The Niners need to fire Steve Wilks. I'm sorry. It's not even his fault. It's Kyle Shanahan's fault for hiring him. You want to run the wide 9 defense? Something that's kind of a gimmicky defense to begin with. Not that many teams do it. You want to run it for whatever reason because you can't beat it when you face Jim Schwartz. You want to run it because you can't beat it. And you hire someone who's never, ever, ever coached a wide 9. That's genius. That is so smart, clever. And now we're like, wow, Steve Wilks, he's terrible. He doesn't know what he's doing. No, he doesn't know what he's doing because he's running someone else's defense. He's trying to reverse engineer someone else's defense. Like, if we're being real frank, the number one expert on the wide 9 defense in the Niners organization isn't Steve Wilks. It's the D-line coach, Chris Kasarik, and then it's Kyle Shanahan. Those two guys know way more about the wide 9 than the guy calling the plays on the defense. That's a huge problem. So, yeah, what is Wilks adding to this? He's the new guy who doesn't know the system. He's not helping things. He's hurting things. He has to go. It's not his fault. He never should have been hired for this job. If you hire a guy, you got to let him do his thing. Steve, we trust you. We like you. You come here and trust your instincts and do whatever you've been doing. No, the Niners didn't do that. They wouldn't even do that for Vic Fangio. He wanted to come here and be the coach. The Niners were like, can you run the wide 9? He's like, no, why would I do that? I run what I run. They're like, yeah, sorry, you got to go. So the Niners were so married to their wide 9. This is what they got. No coordinator. And Fred Warner after the game said, coordinators don't matter. Players win games. Okay, then win them, man. I say coordinators matter. I think Steve Wilks has to go. And I think the reason they can fire him is because they don't have to replace him they don't have to bring in another outsider. That was the mistake to begin with. Promote someone from within the freaking organization like you did with D'Amico, someone who actually coached under D'Amico, who actually knows what was working last year when the team had the number 1 defense in the league, because Steve wasn't here for that. He's trying his best to figure it out, but probably he's going to lean on what he's done for 17 years as a coordinator, as a coach. I don't know who the Niners could replace him. Kasarik, Johnny Holland, someone. Johnny Holland. How about Johnny Holland, the linebacker coach? Saleh was a linebacker coach. D'Amico was a linebacker coach. How about Johnny Holland? Promote him. How could he be worse? I mean, Steve Wilks, I don't know. Okay, forget the wide 9. The coverages. In the first half, he plays 2 deep safeties off zone coverage. So cover 2, cover 4. Bengals pick up 20 first downs. And I believe Joe Burrow completes 19 passes in a row. And the Bengals run the ball at will. Like, what? Why would you call that? It's such a conservative way to play. It's like saying, man, my players stink. I got to just play, not quite prevent defense. Not quite prevent defense. That's what I'm going to play because my players stink. Your players are really good. You don't just give up 19 consecutive throws because you're used to coaching weak players. So, okay, just an atrocious first half playing the most conservative style of coverage you could do. Second half makes an adjustment. Aggressive. Press man coverage across the board. Single high safety. 8 in the box. That's a little better, but it still doesn't work. I mean, if it wasn't for Eric Armstead single-handedly beating that right guard a couple times, what would this defense be? They got to fire Steve Wilks. They never should have hired Steve Wilks. What they should have done was abandon the wide 9 and hire Vic Fangio like Mike McDaniel did. You know why Mike McDaniel did that? Because he's smart. You know why Kyle Shanahan didn't do that and instead hired Steve Wilks to run a defense he doesn't know? Because Kyle thinks he's clever. That was a little too clever, Kyle. You got to fire him. Shout out to the coach for giving that clever, smart distinction. If you're out there, man. He used to give $20 donations in postgame. He was the star of the postgame stream. Now he's got his own YouTube channel. That's the progression, baby. Fish and Chip says Mason outrushed CMC benched. Gotta love Lil Shanny. Oh, yeah. Steven Saltero, $5. Thank you. Michael McCann, $5. Like Bosa, Shanahan, and Lynch both mailed it in once they got the bag. This team is stale and needs drastic changes. We're one loss away from being sellers. Well, the deadline will happen before then. Nathan Flores says this team, bad play, won't make the playoffs. Sad. I hope they do, man. I really want the Niners to make the playoffs because I want to cover a playoff team. Karma, we miss you, Trey. Really real. Miwok Sniper says, hey, Waterboy, you're fired. Sucker Free says, looking at the remaining Niners schedule, there is a chance the Niners can miss the playoffs and the Yorks must clean house. Wow, that would be dramatic. I'm rooting for them to make the playoffs. Januaries are good months for me. Shady Luke says, the crazy part is you watch all other quarterbacks at the lines. They're making changes off the defense. You watch Brock at the line, nothing. All Shanny. Gold Dirty something or other says 17 points 3 weeks in a row and multiple chances to win or tie multiple times. And people are trying to blame the defense. Thank you. Thank you. Ivan Tina saw a quarterback on the Niners sideline with the last name Allen and got happy for a second. But even if he would be a third stringer after the second coming of Joe and Steve, who cares? I love it. D Pacheco 82 says we are sellers on trade deadline. Oof. Rome Gut Level says Niners owe me refund for season tickets. False advertising. Bro, my 8-year-old daughter can coach better than Stinky Wilks. Kyle, ego out of control. Noelia says, do you think they'll win after the bye? I don't. No, I don't. Clayton says, yeah, I'll have the tenders with the side of pre. I don't get it.